Okay, let's get going. Good morning, everybody, or happy Wednesday to wherever you are in the world. My name is Elsie Phillips, and I'll be hosting this call today. If you could please add your name to the agenda doc as an attendee, that'd be wonderful. I'd like to remind everybody that we have a code of conduct here. The TLDR is just please be excellent to each other. Are there any new contributors or new people to this call that would like to introduce themselves?
Hi, I can start, I guess. I'm Alex Handy. I'm with Red Hat. I work with Elsie, and I've joined because I hear you need help with blogs, and I run the blogs for OpenShift, so I figured I could stretch myself to help you out here.
Thanks, Alex, for joining the call. I'm sure we have many a project that we could put you on.
Excellent. My email address is vongard@redhat or ahandy@redhat. So thanks for having me, Elsie.
Yeah. Is there anybody else who's new? Everybody else seems pretty familiar. Okay. Next point of business. We're going to move into the regular program updates. Office hours. Is George on? Not seeing George. Okay. Meet our contributors, Paris.
Hey, y'all. We had a episode this morning that went really well. That was at 7:30 a.m. Pacific. We have another one this afternoon at 1. I have a slot available if anybody can fill in. That would be awesome. Answer questions from new and current contributors. It's pretty standard fare that you hear from open source contributors in general. So even if you're new to the project, please come on. That's totally cool. And again, that's at 1 o'clock Pacific. And then we usually also have a 7:30 a.m. Pacific as well. So that counts for April and May and June and forever. And then what else was I going to say about it? Also, I do have a hard goal, personal goal to set for myself to update the docs. So if anybody is interested in some good first issues, I do have some docs work that needs to happen. And also I wanted to get some help. I need to make it better. And one of the ways that I need to make it better is through transcription. Because a lot of stuff that's being said is really, really valuable. And it needs to come out in chunks. So if anybody's interested in that kind of work, that would be awesome. So we could either like blog about it or whatever. So that's kind of a meet our contributors call for help. But that's it for that.
And how would you like people to reach out to you if they're interested in that?
I am Paris on Slack or parispittman@google.com.
Great. Backing up for a second, I totally forgot to ask for a troll squasher. Is anybody interested in doing that this morning?
I got you.
Great. Do you need me to escalate you to co-host?
Yes, please.
Okay, and then could I also have a note taker? Would that be possible?
I am in there and ready to roll too, so I'll do that as well.
Beautiful. Paris is just awesome, doing all the things this morning. Okay. Community meeting George. George isn't on. Need to know email, Paris.
So for those that don't know, when we have between 4 and 5 bullets of good information to give to our chairs, we have like 75 to 90 chairs at this point of special interest groups and working groups. We send them like things that they need to know because we have a really hard time disseminating information. So this is like one way that we try to get them engaged in different areas of the project. that have to do with contributing. So there are right now 1, 2, 3, 4 suggestions already. So it looks like we've got enough to get another email going. So it looks like we're going to do a Grooming Doc. Do you have one? The SIG cluster lifecycle group just recently put out a Grooming Doc that was really cool. I can link to it in the agenda right now, or if somebody else can while I'm talking, that would be awesome. But it just basically says like how they milestone, essentially. But I think we could even take that further, and it's something that like Nikita and I talk about as we grow out sort of an issue triage team, what that looks like exactly. And so starting to get other SIGs into sort of those practices as well across the board would be super cool. Like when exactly to apply a help wanted, like what help wanted means. We have all of those docs already. So just sort of maybe coming up with like a Grooming Doc template, if you will, would be super cool. And then also there's a API review process, like a ton of documentation that's being extracted out of people's heads and into actual documentation that's going on. So I'm going to link that there for all the chairs as well, and I'll link that there for everybody here too. And then also reminding them that we have a shout outs channel that's on Slack right now until we can figure out a new process. That's just to shout people out that deserve reward and recognitions. And that's just really good for their contributors. And then also I wanted to remind them that we do have owners file graduation gifts. What does this mean? If they want to, geez, Elsie, I think you're giving me your thing like across the internet right now. Excuse me. No, we have owners file graduation gifts. What that means is like if they have a contributor that has been recently promoted into an owner's file as a reviewer or approver, we have contributor patches. I have them. George has them. A lot of our community managers have them. And we can give them out as sort of a gift to folks for their contributions. So that's the need to know of this week for chairs and tech leads. So if anybody out there that's working on a project or what have you ever has something that they feel like matches that type of criteria, where things that like all SIGs need to know that we're pushing, this is the avenue for that. So this is how we're trying to help them bridge that gap. So cool.
Thanks, Ferris.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like George joined us, so let's rewind a little bit in the agenda and hit his topics.
Yeah, office hours is all set. Community meetings all set. Paris, you're next week, and Jonas is the week after. And that's all for this week. Everything's just filled out.
Beautiful. Okay. Contributor Summit updates. That would be Jonas, Josh, and Paris.
That would be me. Sorry. Yeah, so I added in about a bunch of stuff below there during the open mic and discussion. So the email went out to steering on Monday with a content proposal. Thank you so much, Dawn and everyone else who got that done. The event website will be live early next week, pending some design by CNCF and hosting and all of that. And the blog post will then be published to announce the Barcelona Summit and the event website early next week as well, once the website is up and running. So we will have that. The registration will be live shortly, targeting at the latest late March, hopefully earlier than that. So we want to make sure that we can get people registered 2 months before. One thing we've also added here, again, thanks to Dawn, registration for SIG face-to-face meetings, where we have a registration portal for that. So all of that will be live within the next week or so, hopefully.
That's great. Sounds like you guys have the ball firmly rolling.
Yep.
Always good to hear.
And then we also have Josh working on some really nice design for the t-shirts. So once we have that design nailed down, we want to make sure that we get the event website maybe updated with some of that design too.
Very cool. Thank you.
The only update for San Diego right now is, oh no, hold on. The only update for San Diego right now is that we are still working to figure out venue requirements and things like that. We've talked to CNCF about it at a very, very broad, high level scale, and that's underway. And then also, I'm going to set the issue today about the team. So that is going to start where we're requesting the leads, the lead volunteers, so we can start building the team for that. That's the only thing for San Diego.
Wonderful. Okay. And then do we have a triage update by Zadev?
Yep, that's gonna be me. So, hey, so yeah, I put that link there. I had some discussion with Paris, Nikita. We talked the meeting before last week about triage captain role and having a small team, working on issue triage. And right at the same time, there was a discussion going on the email mailing list from I think team. It came with some of the backlog they have in SIG network, and that was followed by SIG, the cluster lifecycle, right, from other team with the Grooming Doc Paris earlier mentioned. So, we thought, hey, it's the right time to sort of start having some discussion around our plans on the triage captain role and what we want to do there. So, like I said, after talking to Paris, Nikita, I created that issue there. I think we will use that issue for, compiling the discussions around what you want to do and, the action items and whatnot. I put a couple links there. But feel free anyone to add more stuff there if you want to be part of the triage team. I guess Paris, correct me, but 3 to 5 people team should be good enough to have some brainstorming. Offline. We can provide updates here, but a small team brainstorming on site and coming up with the new processes, modify what we have already. The Grooming Doc, which Paris shared, is something we can work with other SIGs and, have a consistent sort of, as possible grooming kind of things across the board. Those kind of things. So, Paris, I guess you will be part of the team, I assume so. And yep, so I was thinking to add, the folks in the team as in like assigning up the issue, so they have a clear understanding of the team. So, we will have those like 3 to 5 people team. So if you're interested, please add your name there, and we'll continue working on that. And that's pretty much it on the triage side. So I just wanted to let everyone know about what we talked about last week. So yeah, that's it from me.
Okay, great. It looks like there was a little bit of chaos in the doc, and I think maybe your link
got lost.
got deleted. So if maybe you could add your link back in, that'd be great.
Yeah,
I just did. I just added it. It's there.
Okay, cool.
Oh, yay, nice. Thanks, Bryce.
All right. Let's go ahead and do some project board triage. If you're looking for the link, it's linked in the doc to our project board. All right. Let's go down the blocked column. One-on-one mentoring process improvements. Paris, do you have any updates here?
0.
Okay.
But now that I'm clearing my plate a little bit on some other things that I was working on, so I intend to go full steam ahead on all mentoring initiatives that are in the blocked column first, and then start rolling on some other things that we've got going on. So super excited about that.
Cool. Subproject details in SIG YAML file. Anybody speak to this one?
That's still blocked in steering, so I guess I'll just poke them again and see what's up. But then it's still blocked and there is not really much progress in that area.
Okay. If you could poke them again, Nikita, that'd be great.
Yep, I'll do that.
Okay. Let's go down the in progress section next. Create comms timeline for Barcelona Contributor Summit. Paris.
Yep, we are rolling with that. The only reason why it's still open is because I have to set some issues from it at this point, and I don't want to close it until all the issues are set. But yeah, no, we're pretty much good there.
Great. Just heard the update on the event website.
Yeah, if you want to skip, you can skip all the Contributor Summit
Okay.
ones too. So,
process doc for running public steering committee meetings. Paris.
that has also had no process, or it's not process, no movement yet. If somebody wants to help, that's cool. It's just pretty much detailing out how we as contributor experience carry out their public steering committee meetings, so that if other people want to do it, besides like say George and I, that they could potentially do it. So it's just a scaling template. But yep, that's I guess we could probably put it in the blocked column at this point. I just don't have the time at this minute for this cycle, but maybe next week I can pick it up.
Okay, do you want me to move it into the blocked column?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Okay. Next one, DevStats. Many new repos aren't included in DevStats.
Yeah, I have created a PR against the DevStats repo for that. So I wrote a very hacky script to generate the list. Aaron had also written a very hacky script to generate that a few months ago. So I'm taking both the scripts and I'm writing a nice script, which is not so hacky. And I want to PR it in so that we can use it for the next time. So like writing a nice script part that's left basically right now.
Awesome. Thanks for doing that.
Yep.
Okay. Rename release notes and cherry-pick labels to conform to category subcategory norm.
That's also me. So I have a PR open against test infra, but I don't think we're gonna do anything related to that in this release cycle because it's just gonna make everything very chaotic.
Okay. Should I move this over to blocked?
Yeah, should be fine.
Update SIG YAML with more working group info. Paris?
Yeah, I know the update on this one. So we had a contributor actually did a lot of the research and mapped out a lot of the SIGs that are sponsoring working groups for this. This is just now an extension of the SIGs list into the working group area where we see what working groups are tied to which SIGs. But unfortunately, the person that did the research is out on vacation. So this is just blocked, and I'll move that into the blocked column right now because I think that he should get the authorship for the research that he did. So I'm asking him to PR it in. He said that he would after vacation. So that's where that is.
Great. And you're moving that into the blocked?
Yep.
Okay. Wrap up Contributor Summit 2018. It looks like there are only two things here, but whoa. Okay. That haven't been done?
Yep. So the blog post is actually pretty much getting merged with the blog post for 2019 kickoffs for the Shanghai, Barcelona, and San Diego contributor summits. So this is actually going to close when that kicks off, and then we'll be completely done with this.
Groovy.
Groovy.
2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah, and we have better processes now in place for future summit closures. Yes.
Code-based tour videos. Elsa Paris.
Not much here. We're starting to get a good collection. So now I'm going to start recruiting these individuals to come on Meet Our Contributors. I actually have one already for April and one for May. I know I'm scheduling that far out, but some of these folks' time is super valuable. And it'll be really cool to see them do code-based tours of the stuff that they've been working on. But yeah, no, we're starting, we're full steam ahead on this. And again, this is also a call to action for anybody listening. If you feel like there's certain parts of the code base that newcomers or even current contributors get stuck with, or have some kind of like ridiculous dependencies or what have you, let us know in this issue, and then we'll serve it as content on either Meet Our Contributors, or we can just whip up a Zoom, record them, and put it on YouTube, like we have been doing for some other DIY stuff. So just let us know and how we could be of help there.
Content strategy for the contributor site. Looks like George and Paris and Matt.
I actually, I'm finally done my portion of the data piece. I think Dawn will finally be excited to hear that. I have to add that on our issue from what we did, and for people that are like, what the heck's going on? What are y'all talking about? As part of the content strategy, we looked at some of the survey data that we did last September, and how we could serve content based on some of the needs that were being addressed from the data. So Dawn did a section of that. I have a section of that ready to go. And then Megan from VMware and some other people are helping us with some focus groups and stuff. So work is slow, I'm not gonna lie, but ongoing for sure. So after this, we intend to then engage designers and other folks that will help us kick this up.
And let me know if you want me to dig into any other parts of the data. I did some of the obvious stuff, but I'm happy to dig into other bits too.
Yep, and that's what I have ready. I'm gonna send it to you in a few hours, so I'm super excited.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah.
Progress. Contributor experience survey results. Paris?
That's actually pretty much the same thing.
Cool.
Not the same thing, but that's what we were looking at to do some of this work. So I pretty much went ahead and just analyzed all of the questions, and we did some comparative analysis against some of the demographic questions with some of the like qualitative ones. So there's some, I think, interesting and not so interesting as far as like we already know this about our population, or I think a lot of us do anyway. So that's actually going to come out within the next couple of days, and then we'll write some blog posts from it and stuff like that. It's a lot of data actually, so it might be several blog posts or things like that. So we'll see. I'll talk to some people on the CNCF side to see how we should break this down.
I'm really excited to see this blog post. See the data and what you guys have been working on.
Yeah, I can share it with y'all like pretty much right now. It's just raw data, and then I have like my side notes from it. I mean, raw data is, and it's just charts. Like there's no like, this is what you're seeing. Like you'll have to see that yourself. But I have some of the raw thoughts, and Dawn also has some raw thoughts and like an issue and some things like that. So we'll, make this more digestible, I guess, for like a blog and stuff like that.
Cool. Communication and collaboration platform sprawl assessment.
I feel like that's just perpetually ongoing at this point.
Does that mean that it should be blocked?
I don't know. I feel like it's perpetually ongoing because we're just discovering stuff it just feels like every week, as far as like, oh, there's a Google group that I didn't know about. And just trying to do that ongoing discovery. But yeah, no, I would put it in the blocked column for right now, just because there's just so much other stuff going on that's priority, like with Slack, as far as like communication sub-project is concerned, that a lot of other effort is going to that work at this point. So I would put it blocked just to be honest with ourselves.
Okay. Audit Zoom license holders. How's that going?
George was actually picking this up for me. George, what is going on? Did you finish that, or is there a few SIGs left or working groups with the Zoom stuff?
So I started and I did a good job, and then the Slack thing happened, and I haven't. I have 3 SIGs that I'm still working on that I'm trying to get to, and I'm going to try to get to it this week, but not as much as progress as I did earlier.
Okay, so it sounds like it's close. If there's only 3 SIGs left.
Well, 3 SIGs that I'm going after. I've done like the audit.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done the audit and seeing who I need to chase after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Create more roles for Contrivex. I think actually I volunteered to help you with this one and then completely forgot about it until just now. So no progress on this one quite yet, but the ball should be rolling on this.
Well, we have one. The one is what Sada was talking about with the issue triage stuff. So that's going. What I'd like to see us do is kind of what like the release team does, where they like set an issue based on the role and then get the volunteers and stuff like that. So I'm kind of thinking something very similar, and then have those folks lead us with like, the roles and responsibilities and the guidelines and things like that, and kind of build those teams out. So we've definitely had some movement now going with issue triage. So again, if you're interested in helping us with issue triage, jump into that. And then what else? I think you can look at the issue, but there's just like marketing stuff, blogging. I think, Elsie, you said you had a coworker that was going to help us with the blogging stuff.
Alex, who
yes.
joined the call today.
Oh, Alex. Yes, that's that Alex. I'm sorry, I was having sound issues. Yes, Alex.
No problem. I'm here when you need me.
What's up? Yeah. So all the stuff that happens in this call, there's like a lot of projects that are going on. We need like maximum exposure on those things. So we just need like feedback loops out at a just more volume and at just higher levels. So that's why I felt like if we have a role as like a blogger, that individual could also help some of the people that are doing the work have a voice as well, and get them the visibility that they need. So I think it's super important. And if you're willing to help us with this mission, I would love to have you. And you could also like help us like maybe even like build a team, what have you. I mean, the world is your oyster. So
happy to help in any way that I can. I think the first thing to do is where is is there a blog? I don't see a blog.
Well, so good news is that it's Kubernetes.io blog, and we can have contributor content on there. However, they don't necessarily run it every day, but we can have it at a more steady pace than what we currently do now. But we're also trying to do a contributor site and then potentially have a blog on that as well. So you could also help us map that out as well.
Sure thing. Slot me in. However, I'll keep coming to the meetings for the next couple of weeks and we'll figure out where to start off on this.
Yeah. Super ambiguous. Yeah, right.
Well, I'm also Elsie and I talk all the time, so like we can talk about it too. So
awesome. Yeah. No, I mean, I think just having you here and ready to help is super awesome. So thanks. So cool. So yeah, now it looks like we've got some movements. And then I know we also had a ton of volunteers, not last week, but the call before that as well. And I'm going to start assigning y'all issues. Pew, pew. So
Can we get that noise one more time?
Yeah, pew. Anyway, yeah, that's my update.
Groovy. Okay. Rolling back Zoom licenses in favor of host keys. I think we did this, right? This is done? Yes. Do you want to move it over?
Well, it's not done. I wouldn't move it over yet. No, there's some strings that are still attached, but it's done as far as like the update, like with what George and I were just talking about. It's relatively similar issues. I might even like close one in favor of the other. So yeah. I'll
close the host keys one because I'm basically going every little thing with them anyway, and host keys is part of that.
Okay, yeah, we'll figure that out. Yeah. So no, anyway, for the purpose of this call, just keep going.
Okay. And then clean up GitHub service accounts.
I started working on that. I passed this to Nikita, so Nikita volunteered to handle all the stuff. Unfortunately, I don't have enough time to handle all that. We still have a few SIGs that have their old service accounts on GitHub, and Nikita will clean it up. But if Nikita is here on call, so probably she
I am here, but I think we also need the mailing lists to get cleaned up as well, and I don't have permissions for
let's
that.
clean the mailing list after we'll clean up our GitHub. I have access to some mailing lists, but that should be done after we will clean the GitHub, because if for some reason some GitHub bot account will require any email interaction, that email will land to that mailing list. So mailing list should be deleted as the final resource.
Yeah, cool. I will first send an email to Kubernetes dev that we're cleaning it up, put out a lazy consensus, and I'll create a PR. It should be a simple change.
Thank you.
Cool.
Okay, so that rounds out the project board for today's meeting. And that takes us into the open mic section. I'm not seeing anything on the agenda. Does anybody have anything that they would like to talk about? Paris.
Always me. I've got content for days. So we do have a G Suite now. We have set up moderators like Kubernetes.io. This has all of our moderators, which is awesome. Everybody's under one roof. That's cool. Now we can all talk to each other and build out a luxurious suite of moderators. And then we also, that does mean we have contributors at Kubernetes.io. What does that mean? I don't know. We have to build the process and the guidelines for that. And I have created an issue for that, and I did just put it in the in progress section. So I was just a little tardy for this meeting to do that. But that's it for G Suite stuff. So if you have questions, I do too. And that's what we are about to figure out. We did, when we put the proposal together, we do have a list of things that we, excuse me, this is terrible. We do have a list of things that we wanted to do. So we'll kind of start, I guess, setting issues against those and start getting to work on seeing if any of the issues that we have now can be cured by G Suite. That's my open mic slot.
George.
Yeah, are we able to add calendar events from the G Suite because like the community meeting dropped off the community calendar, and like we never figured out why.
Sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's quite possible. Yeah.
Okay.
I also kind of just want to figure out why it fell off too, because like it's off for some people and not off for others. So I was gonna just re-invite KDev and see if that would work.
So I remember last year redoing the community meeting, like restarting it, but with my Heptio account. So I'm wondering if it just like ran out because that was like a year ago.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm like, I can just like re-invite KDev and because that's what I have not. I mean, I don't want to spam 4,000 people, you know? So
yeah, I know. I hear you. I'm not sure. Like, I kind of want to ask at the community meeting, are any of you getting the invites to this? Because it feels like half-ish. I don't understand.
And then other people are also copying it as well. And then that's just the forever tombstone of even if we change it, they won't get the update.
Yeah. Second question, are we able to use G Suite accounts for our own nefarious purposes? Asking for a friend.
What do you mean?
Let's say someone's stuck in a situation with a non-working calendar or mail. Can I just like pay the CNCF the $30 a year for Georgia Kubernetes.io? I mean, for whoever this friend is, who I'm talking about.
I honestly have no idea. File a service ticket.
All right, I'll see what Ehor says.
The comment about that actually came up, I think in the thread a while ago, and they didn't want to have like at Kubernetes.io accounts to be some like status symbol type thing.
Yeah.
So that might be a problem. Other thing, going back to the whole community calendar and invites thing, it still might be worthwhile to send out an invite like quarterly. Just at the rate we're getting new contributors and new members, just to ensure that they get a invite.
Yeah, I would love for this like marketing team that I envision for this SIG, I really think that like a communications calendar would be super appropriate and welcomed, and like all of our programs that we have at this point just need regular refreshes as people are dipping in and out of the community. And I think like meet our contributors and office hours and the community meeting and all of these things could definitely use that. So
the invite could also be sent out by the contributor at Kubernetes.io account. So that way like people know to explicitly whitelist and be like, hey, if it's from this address, pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking about Kubernetes.io G Suite, it's exactly as Bob said. So this G Suite is managed by Steering, so it's better to ask Steering about all this stuff. But like in general, we probably may find some different ways to handle this.
I mean, we could add users. But the users are essentially glorified Google groups, if I remember my G Suite terminology correctly. And so, like for instance, that's what moderators at Kubernetes.io is essentially. But that's all you need at that level. I mean, and for that purpose. But we wouldn't necessarily have access to like Gmail. That would be like a full-fledged G Suite account.
Yeah, I was just wondering.
Yeah. No, I haven't explored any of that either. So that's why I'm like, I don't know. Let's ask. Like,
it's not me. I'm just asking for somebody who might be Jonas.
We have Kubernetes.dev. Anybody wants to set up the Kubernetes.dev G Suite?
That would be awesome. That would be really cool.
I think Duffy snagged Kate's.dev. I'm not sure. Somebody, these .dev things.
The CNCF did snag Kate's.dev.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Anything else? Going once? Going twice? Okay. I'll end a little bit early this morning, or today. see all of you fine folks next week.
All right, thanks.
Have a good
Bye.
one. Thanks.
Everyone.